Okay, the lineups I typically run. Americans, I typically run this lineup right here, the M24. That's a lot of fun. At BR 4.0, the 75mm cannon is actually still pretty effective. And if you put a shot into the side of most anything, it dies. So I like the M24. I'll go through the tanks first. The M4A2, a 4.0 BR medium tank. Good tank. It's a good all-rounder. Good at what it does. And then I go into planes because they just eliminated the one rank 3 lower BR AA gun, the M15. It's now in rank 2. So it means you don't go into this with an AA gun on this if you're playing at around 4.0. Then I just picked some planes that I kind of liked and are rank 3. The PBJ-1H. And by the way, you want to pick, if for round RB, you want to pick 3 different classes of planes. So I have a PBJ-1H, which is an attacker. It's mainly there because it's rank 3 and it matches the number. I don't fly it much, but it's an option if I end up in the situation where I don't have any other options. SB2C-1C, great plane. You could also put in the SB2C-4 because it actually carries more bombs, but the lower BR vehicle I'm more likely to be able to bring in because it'll be a lower spawn point cost. P51, Pure Air Superiority Fighter. The 20mm cannons do destroy some things of this BR, but you'd be basically using it to get assists on ground vehicles and to kill other airplanes. So I've got a fighter, a bomber, and an attacker. This is my 4.0 BR American rank 3 lineup. Everything here is rank 3. Now, I also have a couple other lineups that I love to play, and I keep those on hand because I typically make money doing them, Silver Lions. And that is American 5.7. And we've got, topping that out, the M18. Now, some people prefer the M36 here. That's your preference. Not a problem at all. I prefer the speed over the larger cannon. So, M18. The M4A376W HVSS. This is here mainly because it's 5.7, BR appropriate, and it's got a 76mm gun. It does the job. If I have to end up in this, it's better than a sharp stick in the eye. T20, very effective for the BR, 76mm gun, decent armor. It'll bounce a few things here and there. Maybe not the best, but it does pretty good. So this lineup, these 3 tanks here, are all pretty good, even at 5.7. And you will get up-tiered up to 6.7 a lot, but this is still a BR where I can kill a lot of things very often. That said, it is not a BR where the wins come easy. So this BR range I might avoid just because of the wins being an issue. Planes. Right now I'm running the P47d28 Fighter with a whole bunch of ordnance. And an AD2, an attacker with a whole bunch of ordnance. Both BR appropriate. That both means you can get a lot of kills in a hurry, especially if you've got ground targets to go after. And both are good enough to take out other airplanes if flown well. And this is the lineup I use on a fair regular basis. I really enjoy it. On the tail end, I do have an M19. The M19 is what happens when things go really, really badly for me. But it's got 40mm Bofors. It can go through some of the lighter tanks. It's basically what you use to keep you in the match when everything else has been exhausted. So that's the 5.7 lineup. 7.0 is kind of interesting. It gets right into that jet area, and for some reason, American 6.7 through 7.3 wins a lot. I don't know why, but it does. And I think the main reason why is because this is where America actually gets some decent heavy tanks that can take a hit and still keep shooting. And my lineup for that is admittedly the T30. It's mainly there for the giggles of it. I don't typically drive it, but if it comes down to it, it's fun. There's also the T34 that you can switch to, and if you have a premium T29, you can switch to that. I don't. The M46, good tank, medium, gets you moving along pretty good. However, my main and the first one I bring out, M50 Ontos. If you can get good with those recoilless rifles, you are golden. That's right. Those things are a lot of fun. You can sneak up on people and blow their heads off. You can snapshot several rounds into somebody before they even realize you're there, and that saved my bacon many a time. So, a lot of fun, good thing to drive. And of course, the M42. You could take the M19 here as well. Yeah, the M42's got a little more armor, and that might not save you a whole lot, but it's BR appropriate. And for the planes, unfortunately, they really didn't do a good job on this as far as BR appropriate items here. So I've got two fighter planes. The F-80A5 with its two 1,000-pound bombs, or the F-3D1 with its two 2,000-pound bombs. They're both fun. They do pretty well, and if you really are going to turn fight things, you're going to take the F-80. But if you're just going to have some fun and blow up some tanks and see the big explosions, the F-3D is a lot of fun. That's my American lineups that I would take into this type of thing. Now, not everybody has ground up all vehicle trees. I haven't. If I'm doing this type of thing in Germany, I have a task grinder lineup, and all of these are rank 3 vehicles. I do have one that's at 5.3. I'm not too fond of it, mainly because I'm not a Tiger fan myself. I'm just not that fond of heavy tanks. But my task grinder is the Panzer IV-G, which is a reliable moneymaker and wins a lot of battles. The Panzer IV-J just needs to be spaded, and it's rank 3. It's otherwise an awful tank. And of course the Whirlwind, which can take out pretty much anything on the battlefield at this BR. For planes, I've got the Bf-109F4 fighter, an Me-410B1. It's a strike fighter. It carries bombs. And so does the Bf-109, just not as big of bombs as the Me-410. And for the giggles of it, when things go horribly awry, I bring in the Duck. Quack. Now, I've never really set up a task grinding setup for Russia. 5.3s have been alright to me, and this is the lineup there. IS-1 heavy tank still moves pretty good. PT-76B, it's hilariously bad, but it still will do the job. S.U.F.F.E.R is just something I need to spade, and of course the T-34. Oh, that's different. That has changed. I have to change that out. Woo, glad I caught that now. We'll just switch it to that, because that would have up-tiered me even worse. And then for planes, I got a Yak-9U and an LA-7B-20. The Yak-9U, just because. I think it doesn't even carry any bombs. LA-7B-20. And really, the Yak-9U just needs spaded. That's the reason it's there. So I haven't really done much on the Russian line. There's some good lineups there, but I've not really effectively jumped on them. On with Britain. With Britain, I found 5.3 to be a fairly good sweet spot again. You're just low enough that you're not going to be up to near as much as you would with the 5.7 American lineup. And of course, I had things to grind in these areas anyway. So that's a Sherman Firefly, good gun, still effective even in up tier. Churchill Mark 7 needs spaded. Challenger 5.3, that thing's fun, very nippy, moves around the battlefield pretty well, but has nothing for reverse. And a couple of airplanes. This needs spaded, so it's there for that purpose. The Brigand, a bomber, and the Sea Fury, which also needs spaded. But you've got yourself a little variety there. There's lots of great options for aircraft in the British lineup. So some Spits, some Seafires, even some of the Whirlwind of course the Brigand's good. The Fireflies are a lot of fun, and they carry a whole bunch of RP3s. Take your pick. Japan is the other country where I've spent a fair amount of time grinding on. Rank 3 starts off with the M24. What can I say? I'm a sucker for an M24. Has the Soki for AA because it is rank 3. Chinu 2, which I picked up from a Warbond shop, but there's plenty of equivalents to add in there. And you'll want to stick below 4.0 if you can, as long as you got rank 3 on it. Chinu 2 is good. The Nato, also good. Obviously, it's weak because it's got no armor, but the gun's effective, and it actually punches upward fairly well. The KI-43-3, this is a no-brainer. Carries bombs, turns like a Dickens. It's great. And right now I got the KI-67I Co as a frontline bomber. I've not messed with China at all, so I can't speak to it, or Sweden. Italy, I have not set up a real lineup, but I do have this one that's rank 3 vehicles around or underneath 4.0. And if you're going to go for it, Italy's actually a pretty good choice. They've got a whole bunch of stuff in rank 3 that is lower BR, and in fact with the American additions, there's even more than before. So you could grab an M24 or an M4A4. The R3T20 is great for picking up caps, and you play it right, you can destroy most everything at your BR. The 7534 M43 is good. It's not the best thing in the world, but pretty good. Same with the 10525 M43. The big advantage of this lineup is that you can have a fairly effective lineup without even bumping into 4.0. So top stuff here is 3.7. SM91 is even a rank 4. And the C205 is a very low BR rank 3. So good options all around. France, I never set up a lineup for rank 3. So let's take a fast look. AMX-13 FL11 would do fine. The M4A4 would be fine. ARL-44 ACL1. I actually like this tank. It's a lot better than some people let it say it is. The CCKW would be great. Yeah, you can put together quite the little lineup right here on this row and never even bust 4.0. Great for doing this type of task. And rank 3, F6F5, doggone it, that's a perfect lane for this. MB157, I think it doesn't have any bombs, but if you wanted to, it's certainly rank appropriate. They have the MB175T, which is a torpedo bomber, so you've got 2 airplanes, both below 4.0. You can put together a pretty decent lineup in France. And I'm not familiar enough with Sweden or China to really make good recommendations. But there you go. You've got lineups for ground RB that do really well as task grinders.